Welcome to A Double
Double
and Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 136 of A Double and Dice. And today, we have a special guest because today we're going to be talking about Lorcana.
We are.
Yes.
And as far as I'm aware, although I could be wrong, there are no dice in Lorcana. Is it Lorcana or Lorcana? Let's ask our guest, Petrus. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Petrus is our friend and past Dice Masters player, and is a current Lorcana player. What is the correct pronunciation, Petrus? Do you know?
I say Lorcana.
Lorcana. Okay, I'll take it. You're more of an expert than either of us are. I think I'm the least Lorcana knowledgeable on this podcast today.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. Ours could be pretty much the same par because I played at the beginning and then kind of just lost it after that.
I mean, but didn't you buy anything? You bought things aside from starter sets, right? Like you bought packs? No?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I only have starter sets, and the only cards that are extras are from the packs that you got in the starter sets.
Do you have any unopened starter sets that still have sealed packs in them?
The boxes are gone, but I think I might have the newer set that Shimmering something.
Shimmering Skies.
Um,
Hey, I knew that.
Still in the wrapper.
I have one starter box that I bought at Toys R Us last Christmas that they were blowing them out for like $5. And I'm like, oh, there's a pack in there, so I'll just buy that. It's still unopened. So that just goes to show you that Petrus, who has played in multiple competitive events, is our expert today.
Yep.
So, Petrus, can you tell us a little bit about Lorcana? Like, what is the game about?
The game is about having characters to quest. Not necessarily just characters, but getting to 20 lore.
Okay.
That's essentially it. Instead of like damaging your opponent, it's now you're just getting to questing to 20 lore.
So you're gaining as opposed to losing.
Exactly.
And you have to gain faster than your opponent?
Exactly.
Cool. So it's like a race to the top instead of a race to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And so the game, it has a different kind of like, it's a very similar mechanic to like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, where it has ink,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your resource. And any card in your deck could be inkable, as long as it has a symbol, the inkable symbol,
Right.
in the top left-hand corner.
And all of the Lorcana stuff is Disney.
Yes. Next year will be Pixar.
Oh, really?
that's
I didn't
exciting.
even hear that. That's news to me.
Yeah, they announced that last year.
Yeah, I could see that. They seem to be planning pretty far ahead.
So Lorcana is not actually a Disney game. I always thought it was. Like Disney
isn't.
was the one, but it's produced through who does it? Ravensburger?
Ravensburger, yes.
Yeah. Ravensburger. I call it Ravensburg.
Tomato.
Yeah, I thought it was their actual, like their game. So I guess not.
Yeah.
It's just an IP.
Yeah, I guess so. They still have to have a image reputation to uphold, because all the events that were like, so the events that we were at for LCQ was at Disneyland, and Worlds is at Disney World.
Mm.
And what is an LCQ? Lorcana something?
So LCQ stands for Last Chance Qualifiers.
Oh,
so
okay.
Back in January, we had the North American Championships,
Mhm.
and if you didn't basically win or get top of a DLC, which is a Disney Lorcana challenge, throughout the year of last year, then you have a chance of getting into like one of 32 spots.
Cool.
Mm.
So it seems like, from what I've heard about the competition side of things, because I think with Lorcana, there's collectors, people that just collect the cards, just like there are with other card games, right? Like there's people that collect
Like
Magic
Pokemon.
cards and
Yes,
Pokemon
exactly.
cards and don't play.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a fairly strong competition, because I've heard you and some of our other friends that we met through Dice Masters talk about trying to get tickets to the DLC
Mm-hmm.
and the LCQ. Did I
Yes.
get those acronyms correct?
Yeah,
And it seems like they sell out a lot.
they do, because they're capped at so many people. And this last year was their first year of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Ravensburger is their first time producing like a card game.
Yeah, they
So-
were known for puzzles, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but they got out of that business, I think.
No, they're still doing puzzles.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're at PAX. There was like puzzle competitions. Sorry,
What?
This is off topic, but yeah. Oh my! I was looking at them. I was like, "Holy crap! You
So-
guys are really fast."
How fast you could build a puzzle? That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, there's like teams. There's like solo ones, or like teams that you can do, and you do quickly do a 60-minute or 60 or whatever puzzle.
Yeah.
In 60 minutes or something like that.
Oh my
Well,
god.
you're officially part of the podcast now, Petrus, because we do everything except stay on topic. So that was perfect. And that was even sort of tangentially related to what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. Usually we're not related to what we're talking about.
Yeah, so you're in. You're part of the club. We all
I
fame
did not
in the
know that.
curb.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so okay. So you've attended a couple of these events, Petrus?
Yes, I have.
And what happens at one of these DLCs?
So if you sign up as a competitor, then you're signing up for the main competition, which is encompassing the whole entire weekend,
Okay.
potentially. It just depends on if you make it. So in the main competition, it is 9 rounds, and it is best of 2. Best of 2 means each win is 3 points, and if you win both games, then you get an extra point.
Okay. And what's the time limit on a best of 2 round?
I want to say like 50 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
50,
seems
45
short.
to 50 minutes.
You need a fast deck.
Not necessarily. You just need to know your strategy, know your opponents. Like, for people that actually know the game and know who are really actually competitive, they will scout. They're in teams or whatever. They know their opponent. They know their decks. They know the range of the decks that are out there, so they know how to be able to basically play the round. Sorry, in best of 2 is you basically roll a die or whatever you want to determine who goes first.
So there is a
And-
die.
Yeah. Well, we have damage counters, so we have dice to
Do your
take
damage.
damage on the card. But so yeah, we basically roll to see who goes first, and if you decide to go first, you can decide to go first game 2 or game 1.
Oh,
So
interesting.
each person has a chance to just go once. Once.
First, yeah.
Yeah, first.
Interesting. That's super cool. So the game itself, the sort of, let's call it standard competition deck, like how many cards would be in that deck?
It is a minimum of 60 cards.
Okay. That's a lot of cards.
And you can't have more than 4 of the same
Mhm.
character subtitle, right?
Yeah, so of that basically set, I guess.
Yeah. So
Like
you can
identical card type thing?
have- yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm just trying to think of a
Mickey Mouse.
card. Mickey Mouse. There you go. That's an easy one, Kim. If you had like Mickey Mouse first edition and Mickey Mouse second edition, you could have like 4 of each of those.
There's no first or second
I
edition.
know, I'm just making it up.
Okay.
She's trying to think of subtitles, but she can't.
I don't know what any of the cards are called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Yes.
whatever the Mickey Mouse subtitle A and
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse subtitle B, you could have multiples of that,
Yes.
but you can't have like 8 of Mickey Mouse A.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Unless the card specifically says you can.
Oh,
Like
like
the
the
puppies.
dogs. Yeah.
The puppies is what I
You
know.
could have
about
99 of them.
the Dalmatians. Yeah.
Or microbots.
Oh,
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, you can have as many as you want for microbots.
What's that then microbots come out?
I want to say set 6 because that's when Big Hero 6 came.
Oh, what's the name of that set? What was the
That
name?
is Azerite C.
Is that the newest one that's come?
No,
Oh,
the
okay.
newest one just came out like 2 weeks ago, which is called Archasia's Island.
See, I'm so behind already.
Archisius, that's how you say that.
What do we call it?
Well, we called it Archasia's Island.
That's a weird name.
It's a new character.
It's a weird pronunciation. I'll just say that.
It's a character.
I couldn't
from,
figure out how to
Disney?
say it.
No,
I've
I think
never heard
it's custom
Oh,
to their
okay.
lore.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not like a Disney thing.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's
Oh,
very
I
interesting.
didn't-
So they're
I
starting to
appreciate it.
introduce their own stuff. So with a lot of these competitive games, they like do a rotation. Have they talked anything about that with Lorcana?
Nope. We're still waiting. We're waiting for as this moment. We're still waiting for World's date. We're waiting for season 2 of the DLCs, the challenges. And we're waiting to see if there's going to be a rotation. I don't know. I think this game is still pretty new. I think I would see at least after set 10, then they would have a rotation.
When did this come
Interesting.
out? 2 or 3 years ago?
It was a year and a half ago.
Okay, I'm close.
I remember
It
because
seems longer.
it does seem longer, but I think it just flew by so quickly.
Yeah.
But I remember when it came out because I swore to like everybody that I would not get into this game. And then
Oh,
here
and
I
look at
am.
you now.
Yeah, it was so it came out officially, I want to say like a week or two after Gen Con that year, but they were previewing it that year over at like all of the gaming conventions. So Gen Con, like they had people lined up like all night to try and get these cards. It was crazy. And the same thing happened, I think, at the UK Games Expo in June. So it was like what are we in 2025? It was in 2023.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's crazy. And the fact that they haven't talked about a rotation yet, and how many sets are there,
7.
Petrus? 7? Because Star Wars Unlimited, so it's only been out since last spring, so it's only been a year, and they've already announced that the rotation is going to happen next year with, was it Fantasy Flight Games, I think, that does Star Wars.
The problem with that is that if you have collectors or if you have people who are very casual, and this is a family-friendly game to a point where if they can't play their set 1 or set 1 to 4 stuff, then they're probably going to get discouraged. So I don't know what they're going to do or how long they're going to wait. But I guess they will probably have to think of something sooner or later.
So let's back up. You swore to everybody that you would not get involved in this game. How did that happen?
He played one game and got addicted.
Not played one game. Actually, that's a lie. It probably was. Okay, so it was a Saturday, and two of my friends were playing Digimon, I believe.
Okay.
And I didn't like I played different card games, and I was like, all these card games are just like meh to me. I didn't really love it. Then it was a Saturday at Wizards Tower in Barhaven here in Ottawa. We were playing. They were teaching me how to play, and one of the staff was trying to get me to play. I was like, okay, fine, we'll play. And they're teaching me how to play. I was like, this is actually very simple and very easy to learn. And then, 1 minute led to another because at the time, booster packs were very scarce. And so they were having it so that every time you get into an event, you're allowed to purchase 2 more extra packs at a reduced cost.
Right.
So that's how you were to get packs back in the day. And so I got into it, and I really liked it. Everybody was at the same playing field. They had starter decks, so everybody was playing with a starter deck. And so at that moment, I was like, okay, everybody's on the same playing field. Because the other games I was getting into, it was like a couple of years already established. So getting to in this game was pretty simple, and learning all the cards is actually not that hard.
Mm-hmm. And are you a big Disney fan, like outside of Lorcana?
I actually am. I do love. Well, my favorite one is Little Mermaid because I used to watch it when I was a kid.
Oh, that's such a good movie. I love Little Mermaid. I always wanted to be Ariel.
So who is your favorite character?
Probably Flounder.
Yeah, he's pretty
Flander's
cute.
good. Yeah.
I'm
That's
a goofy
awesome.
girl.
I love Disney movies, especially the older ones. I haven't seen as many of the newer things, but
Like the real acting ones?
well, I haven't seen any of the real acting ones, but like even some of the newer animated things that they do. Like
Moana?
I don't know that I've ever seen Moana all the way through. I've seen parts of it with my nieces and nephews. Same thing with like, what's that? The Day of the Dead Halloween-y type one? No? Is that Disney?
Halloween one?
Not Halloween. Day of the Dead. There was a Day of the Dead one. Right?
Oh.
That's a Disney movie? No?
No.
Not that I know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a different animated movie.
It could be a Disney movie, but not a cartoon version.
There's,
or was it cartoon?
And what's the... So I think Frozen was probably the newest one that I personally have watched.
Okay. Yeah.
I know there's other things.
Yes, I also watched Frozen, and I swore that I would not watch Frozen. Then my friend made me watch it, and I was like hooked onto it. I was like, crap.
Frozen?
Yeah.
I
was
think
the
I made
same.
a Frozen deck.
I was the same. I was not going to watch Frozen, and then someone's like, you have to watch Frozen, and I'm so glad that I did.
So now I've actually started watching all the... So once you start playing the game, you start like singing the songs, and you just can't get it out of your head, and then you're just like singing all the songs. So I started watching some of the older movies that I've never actually watched.
Like
And I
Snow
actually
White
really
and
like
stuff.
No, not Snow White. I've watched Snow White, but the things like Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Big Hero 6. Yeah, I watched even the sequels of Treasure Planet and Atlantis.
Cool. I've seen a little bit of... So you said Pixar's coming.
Mhm.
So Monsters, Inc. is a favorite at my sister's house. The kids love Monsters, Inc., and that's a Pixar film. So
Is it?
Well,
that's what it says on this thing that I'm looking at on the internet right now. It says Disney Pixar Monsters, Inc.
we don't know what's coming out for Pixar, but that's next year. But yeah. So we already have our new next two sets already. Like they've already told us our next two sets, which is actually great because we never had this before. We never actually had all these names.
They
how
will
often-
definitely do a Toy Story. That's Pixar, right?
for sure.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Toy Story is so popular.
It's popular enough, yeah.
So how often are they releasing sets?
It used to be every 3 months. It still kind of is. It's just they're trying something different, I guess. It's the fact that our set 6 to 7 was a little bit longer period. It was like 4 months in between those two sets because we had our North American National championships. And then we had our set championships, and then so that where set championship is basically a whole entire month, Saturday and Sundays, and you play for the winner gets a playmat. Now it's only just the champion playmat. It used to be 2 playmats, the first and second. The first person gets a champion wording playmat, and then top 8 gets the enchanted card.
Right.
So that's what people are playing for.
And enchanted cards are like the chase cards, right? They're like special cards. They're hard to get.
Yes, they are pretty hard to get.
What was your first enchanted card? I know you have one.
Oh, my first one? I want to say it was Maleficent Dragon.
Okay.
Sorry, Madam Mim Dragon. Sorry, I would say. And that was in set 2.
Cool. That's awesome. And are those cards, the enchanted cards, are they alt art special editions of other cards in the set, or are they specifically special, like you can only get them if they're enchanted?
No, they're the same cards in that set.
Just a different like art treatment with fancy foils and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Blend out.
another rarity.
Cool.
It's a super rare.
It's a chase. I think it's more than a super rare. What are the rarities in this game?
It is common, uncommon, rare, super rare, legendary, and enchanted.
Enchanted.
There's also
Chase.
promos too.
Chase.
You
Hard
put
to
everything to
find.
HeroClix.
I know. I equate everything to HeroClix now. Listen, it's what I play. But we're not talking about HeroClix today. We're talking about Petrus's Lorcana. So it's yours now, by the way. It's yours, Petrus's Lorcana. Okay, so we were talking about DLCs. You talked about the competition. You said there's 9 rounds of Swiss.
Yes, so 9 rounds of Swiss, and you try to get as many points. So so for the challenges, there are like 1,000 to 2,000 people events because it depends on the location. So when I went to the one last June in Chicago, that was like around 1,000 people.
That's so many people.
Yeah, but some other ones were capped at 2,000 because they had enough space.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know that the popularity would be so huge. So I think they're trying to expand it to even more. I hope so, but...
So was Chicago the first one you went to?
Yes, that was actually the second DLC that was... the first one was Atlanta in May.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was Chicago, which way I went to.
And then you went to Toronto as well.
Yes, Toronto. And in
Yay,
August.
Toronto.
Well,
Yeah.
was that a DLC too?
Yeah, so they had one from May to October. There's also European DLCs too at the same time.
And then the last chance qualifier you talked about, that was the one that was in California
Yes, in Anaheim.
at Disneyland.
Yes,
So what is it like playing Lorcana at Disneyland?
it is very fun. You see people who are dressed up. You meet so many people. You meet every and any type of person, and you just have everyone that loves the game.
Yeah, that's what makes it so exciting. That's what I miss about like Dice Masters when we all got together to play Dice Masters because we all love the game and we were just having a great time.
Yeah, and the best part is I find it the sealed part
Mhm.
because sealed you get to like, especially when they're like, well, at that LCQ there was first chapter sealed, and anyone that loves Lorcana, they want first chapter because it is hard to get.
Because it's out of print now, right?
Not necessarily. It's just harder to buy because, yeah, they are a little bit out of print. They're just more expensive because one of the chase card you can say is it's
Yeah.
Elsa Enchanted.
Elsa's.
Mhm. Yeah. So there's obviously side events as well as the competition.
Mhm.
So that would be sealed, and is there probably draft? I would imagine. Do you draft?
Yes, there is on-demand draft.
Okay.
There's on-demand pack rush. There's on-demand starter decks.
What's a pack rush?
Pack rush is you get 2 packs, and you and your opponent will play to 15 lore. And you open both packs, and the 2 marketing cards is your 2 starting ink. You shuffle the 2 decks together, and you play. You draw 5 cards, and you mulligan as normal rules, and you just play.
So
Regular.
how many cards in a pack?
12.
So you only play with 24 cards.
Yep.
Interesting.
And obviously your colors don't matter then.
Nope. Nothing matters. Once you run out of cards, that never really happens. But if you run out of cards, just shuffle your discard back.
Back
Shuffle
around,
and
yeah.
then make it anew with your.
I was just going to ask that. If you run out of cards, are you done?
Not
But
in
it-
pack
it-
rush.
In
No,
pack
not in
rush,
pack
it's very
rush.
rare. Like you
Yeah.
never run out of cards because somebody will. You just get 15 lore. And that's really it.
So I've played a little bit with starter decks. That's all I've really done. I did notice that some of the starter decks seem mismatched in power, particularly when you're looking at different sets.
Yes, of course.
So, like, I had a first chapter starter deck and maybe a third set starter deck, and the first chapter felt so slow, like we could not get it going compared to the third set. Maybe that was just the one I was playing with. I don't know.
Well, don't forget, set 3 is when they introduced locations.
Mm-hmm.
So everything kind of like was you can say
Sped
sped up,
Mhm.
because in the first chapter is everything's just starting out, everybody's on the same playing field in a way, and then that's when they kind of ramped it up in set 2.
Yeah, I think what it was that there was a lot more uninkables in that starter deck as well, and the cards had a higher cost.
Yep.
I want to say I bought it because it had the parrot from Aladdin.
Oh, Iago.
Iago, that's it. Because I love Aladdin as well, and I love the parrot because it was Gilbert Gottfried, R.I.P. Oh, and I guess Robin Williams is also dead, R.I.P. He played Genie, but yeah. So I wanted the Iago card just because I like the parrot, and it was a rough moving deck compared to the other one. So
Yeah.
when you mix the cards together, like I'm sure there's probably some, typically with games like this, you've got some super powered cards in the first set because they don't really know how things are going to play. Are there cards that, from the first chapter that are sort of staples in competitive play from your experience?
Yes, there are some. It also depends on the colors, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there are some.
Let's talk colors.
I was just going to say, let's talk about the colors. So you
But
said
that
that
have names to them.
Yes,
there's
yeah, sorry.
So competitive decks have at least 60 cards, and then how do the colors work?
You can have a maximum of 2 colors. So there is amber, amethyst, emerald, ruby, sapphire, and steel.
So red, gray, blue, orange?
Green, yellow, orange,
Yeah.
and purple.
There you go.
They sound fancier when you use the gemstone names.
Yep.
Yep.
And
It's Disney,
so,
come on.
I know. So are there certain colors that work better together, and does that change set to set?
Yes. So it just depends. Like each of the colors have a specific property that they do. So green is mainly discard. Purple is more draw. Draw and like rush-ish. Red is more like challenging. Blue is more ramp. So getting more ink. Steel is more damaging, as in like spells removal. Basically, it's more removal.
Mm-hmm.
And then yellow is more healing and like support and like heal.
Okay. What do you like to play?
I play from set to set differently. Like back in the day before a card was errated, it was green steel.
Right.
And so
is that the Bucky card?
Yes, the Bucky was errated.
I had to mute the Facebook group.
I read the Bucky card and didn't understand. So
okay.
What was it about that card? Let's read the card controversy. First. Do we have the card handy to read what the actual thing is?
I know exactly what it is. So the original card was a 2 cost, a 1/1. It had ward on it. Ward means your opponent cannot target this character at all. Only through challenging if it's exerted. Then the ability is whenever you play a Floodborn character, your opponent discards a card.
From their hand.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the basically the whole thing was that we had like almost like free shifts, and people would just basically play Floodborn characters in their turns, and the opponent's hand would be gone. So it was basically creating an oppressive game.
Right.
And
like Master Mold in Dice Masters.
Exactly.
And there's nothing out there, sorry, Jocelyn, that would that came out after the fact to get rid of Ward? No.
So after the errata, it's no longer playable because they removed the ward. It's now a 3 cost, and the ability was whenever you use a shift, when you play a shift Floodborn.
Wow, they really changed it. It wasn't like a simple errata.
No, they errated it into the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have to shift onto the character to get the effect of Bucky.
And what is a shift?
So shift is paying. So if you have a smaller or whatever, if you have the name, for example, Bolt. If you have a bolt and you have a shift bolt in hand, you can pay the shift cost, which is usually cheaper, on the same name of the character.
Right.
On top of it.
So you're like almost not swapping it, but replacing it?
You're putting on top of it.
Yeah, okay.
So basically it's like evolving the card in a way.
Oh, but we probably can't say that because of Pokemon.
Yeah. So they call it shift.
Right? That's what they do with all this stuff.
There's a different words, yeah.
I was talking to someone at a store about Star Wars. And I know we're talking about Lorcana, but the concept here is that you can't call it... the reason that in Star Wars they call it exhausting a resource has to do with the language in Magic is trademarked.
Yep.
Tap is trademarked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do you trademark the word tap? But apparently you can. So
you can trademark anything, I guess.
Once you pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other thing was now they introduced, so in the newer sets, actually this set, they introduced something called Universal Shift. And basically, there's one card that you can shift on any one of your characters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's also Puppy Shift, which is basically shifting on any one of your puppies.
I really want to play the 99 Dalmatian deck. I don't know how it works. I just want to put 99 Dalmatians in my deck because I love that movie.
I think everybody does.
I remember looking that up with Matt of how much it will cost him to buy 99 puppies, individual cards, and it was like $100.
Yeah. Well, I mean, $1 a card, right?
Do you want $100 for 99 puppies?
I think I pulled like 4 puppies in the packs that I opened. And I was like, there we go, 4. I only need 95 more. But yeah, so okay. So green steel is no longer a thing.
It is a thing. It's just not as used. Because there's so many counters towards it now, and so it's still a viable deck especially for this meta or this new set that just came out, because there's actually 2 decks that are very like dominant right now, and actually a color that is very dominant now, which is Sapphire. Everywhere you hear is all Sapphire. I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. Some other color would dominate.
Yeah. Until someone finds something that breaks Sapphire, and then everybody will play that thing that's going to kill Sapphire, right? It just goes in phases.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, next set, which is May 30th, set 8, there'll be a new meta or a new deck that will arise.
So the new set came out, you said, a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And how is the play in that set?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
They introduced dual colors.
Right, I heard about that.
Yeah. And you can only play the colors that are on the actual card, you can only play it in those colors.
All right, so I don't know what the colors would be that are dual. What is a typical dual combo?
So the one I'm going to tell you about is Baymax. It's a blue. It's a green blue, which is Emerald Sapphire, and you can only play it in Emerald Sapphire decks.
Right.
And that's the Universal Shift character.
Right. Okay. So if you have a card that's dual color, those are the only colors that can go in your deck. There's no tricolor decks.
Nope.
The only thing that would be multiple colors would be those Pack Rush games.
Yeah, or sealed or draft.
Okay. So when you play sealed or draft, you're not bound by the colors?
There's no restrictions.
Nice. So you just can play whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's a different style of play because you don't normally get to play. And then there's also multiplayer games. and multiplayer sealed. I did that once. Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah, what makes that one fun?
Because when you play multiplayer, you're basically, it's like a free for all. It's
Right.
like a kind of like a political game, because you're like, don't attack me, you should attack him. You should attack the person that is right beside you who's gaining so much lore, and then
Mhm.
try to sway them to attack them. And you're trying to get to 20 lore, and you're the only one who can. There's only one winner, so it's a race to the finish line. But the thing with multiplayer sealed is that multiplayer, you should have a deck that is very multiplayer, not friendly, but multiplayer. Because it's our cards are worded that each opponent, or like choose one opponent, or chosen character, or chosen things, or all your opponents.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So that's pretty cool that there's no restrictions in your draft or your sealed play. I like the idea of multiplayer. I had not heard that there was multiplayer Lorcana. So you said it's just a free for all. You can attack anybody.
Yeah, you can tag anybody. But there's also
Challenge. Sorry.
Yeah, you can challenge any character, or you can quest.
So I have a question about just sort of game mechanics, because I was, very, very briefly trying to play this with the starter decks, and I wasn't 100% sure I was doing it right. So if a character is, what's the language, exerted?
Yep.
Okay. So if a character is not exerted, I can't challenge them.
Yeah, if the character is ready. That's
Ready.
what we call it. So
Okay.
ready or exerted.
Okay. So if a character's ready, I can't challenge it. So if it's exerted, it's typically exerted because it's quested.
Or it's you sung with a card, or you challenge something, whether it's a location or a character.
Right. Okay. So, but if something is ready, it can't be challenged.
Generally, yes.
There's always an exception.
There's always exceptions to that rule.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we were playing it wrong, because I think I was challenging ready cards. But that's okay. It was just me and Rob playing at my kitchen table. So we were just trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's very similar, I think, as far as like the basic mechanics as, like you said, the other games, right?
Yeah.
It's a card game. There's a deck. You're resourcing. It's and the difference is that you're questing to gain instead of attacking to reduce your opponent, right? So it's a little bit different that way, but there's still got very similar sort of like strategies. You have to decide, like, do I quest, or do I take out my opponent's stuff, or what is the right time to do that, and hopefully you draw the cards that you want in order to take out your opponent's characters if necessary.
Yeah. It's also knowing your matchup. So if you're against a matchup that are you also playing on curve? And that's the word I think you're thinking of last week, because I think
that is the word. Thank
Yes.
you. I could not think of that word, and I have been for 2 weeks. I've been trying to figure out what that word was.
So yeah, you play on curve, or you play on tempo, or whatever you want to do. It depends on what your play style is too.
Mm-hmm.
And are you more of an aggro deck? Are you more of a control deck? Are you more of a ramp deck? There's just so many different possibilities. I'm more of like a control, discard control, because I just like certain things are just easier to deal with.
Having played you at Dice Masters multiple times for years, I would not be surprised that you were a control player.
It follows you everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
We all have play styles, right? Like, my HeroClix playstyle is similar to my Dice Masters playstyle, which is I just want to get in there and start smashing your face. That's how I play. I'm not the person that's going to sit back and wait for my opening and be willing to roll off if it's a 0-0 attack or 0-0 score, right? I want to play the game. That's what I'm there for. I want to get in there and start smashing face. So I do that with HeroClix. I did that with Dice Masters. Petrus, you have a very controlling style. Like, you want to control the board. You want to know where things are in Dice Masters. And I think that your Lorcana is probably similar, right? You've got a good strategy. You know how your deck works.
Yeah.
You know how it works against other decks, and you know how to control the board.
Yeah, generally. With the new meta, it's harder because you have to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So it's a little trial and error.
So do you have a deck that you're playing right now, like a standard deck or?
I do have a deck right now. I do have it's an Amber Emerald deck,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty much a more heavier discard.
Okay.
It's basically, it didn't work last set because they weren't playing enough of different like other cards, other than character cards. So, but now they're playing so much non-character cards, so it makes it more viable.
Mm-hmm. So with discard, do you need to also be able to ramp so that you have enough cards in your hand, like to draw?
Mm-hmm. So that's why most people all discard decks usually run a card called Prince John. Is whenever your opponent discards a card, you draw a card.
Okay. Pretty cool. I like that because then it also, your opponent is like, ooh, do I want to play this? Do I want to discard this? Right? Because you're giving your opponent difficult choices.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rob would probably like that deck. He likes to give his opponents difficult choices in whatever game he's playing.
And sometimes it's not a choice, though. Sometimes it's like, I get to choose what to discard in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. I like random. I like when you have to randomly discard things for your opponent.
Mm-hmm. There is that too.
Yeah. Do you ever build around a particular character because you like it?
It depends on if there's I want to say like a casual tournament. Yes, I'll do it, but not majority of the time because we don't usually have those. We don't really have those off meta. It's usually Ottawa is very, very competitive. Mm-hmm. We have way too many stores that we can play at, and it's getting to a point where there's just too much. And some days some of the stores are more casual players, but when our set championships happen, people want to win those playmats or cards, the enchanted cards. So
yeah. So how many stores are there? Like how many nights a week could you play Lorcana if you did nothing else?
We used to play every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's kind of one store got robbed, so they're no longer a store.
Oh no.
Yeah. Another store stopped running it because they were getting nobody, and another store was trying to run it and also got anybody. And tonight there was supposed to be something, but we only get 4 people because some other people just couldn't make it out tonight. So I didn't go. But I usually play Monday nights, Tuesdays, Fridays, Sunday, the whole entire day, Sunday, whole day. Because there's 2 events.
So how many stores is that's running it then? Is it all of those at different stores, or is it the same store running multiple events?
Different stores.
Different stores.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stores. And there could be other stores too, because on Sunday there's also another store outside the city that can also play Lorcana, but it happens at the same time as my regular locals.
Gotcha. And how many people come out to a standard, say, weekly event versus a set championships in your area?
So Sunday we had 8 people. We had a draft on Sunday morning, and that was 8 people also. And a regular tournament would be 6. So, and Friday nights is also 8. So it just really depends on the week to week. It depends on March break and everything because there's so many different factors in.
And then the competitive events are bigger, I would imagine.
Yeah. So we had our sealed event last Tuesday, and that was not Tuesday, that two Tuesdays ago. It was sold out. It was fully packed. We had 24 people. It sold out 2 times, and we had more people on waiting list.
Yeah, there's not a ton of it happening around me. There's the store that I play at weekly for HeroClix is starting to try and run it, and then there's another store I think that's playing it quite a lot. But yeah, it seems to be struggling to get off the ground in certain places. And I think you mentioned some stores were struggling. Do you think that's like the community that goes there, or do you think like they just don't have anyone to advocate for it? What are your thoughts on like building a community for Lorcana?
It also depends on like your community. It depends on how. It just depends on what other card games are at the moment, and who are your kind of clientele in the area, because a lot of the people in Lorcana are like families, so they have kids, so they can't come out every single night.
Right.
One night is better for them than the other night, so it's just
for sure
that happens.
I do like that there's young kids playing this game.
Yeah, it's great. And there's also like they actually pulled like there are a lot of diversity in the challenges. There are like seasoned, non-seasoned. There are every type of people you can think of.
Yeah,
and they're very inclusive.
And some of our other Dice Masters friends are playing Lorcana as well, Petrus, up in Ottawa.
Yes, they are. They do play here and there, but they're more in the Gatineau side.
And then of course, we have Matt was playing a little bit, and I guess he's playing more than a little bit. Is that right, Kim?
Matt? I haven't heard him recently. I think he goes out once a week. Maybe
and he came to Toronto for the DLC.
I don't think he's like hardcore like Petrus.
No.
He could tell us. He listens to this.
And Nick plays a little bit.
I think he plays probably once or twice as well a week, no?
Probably more than Matt.
Yeah.
But less than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you were at Disneyland, you saw our friend Craig.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, I did see him. I was like, he looks familiar. Yes.
Craig Hubner. We haven't heard from him in ages.
And he playing Lorcana.
Did I mention that, or did you see him?
No, you told me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you messaged and you said, I just ran into Craig. And I was like, oh, tell him we said hi. And then you're like, if I see him again, I will. And then, I figured it was busy. So, but I knew he was trying to get something off the ground, because I used to see, it was so hard with Dice Masters, but I used to see him starting to try and post events for Lorcana at his local store in his hometown on Facebook. I would see them from time to time. So I guess he got into it and he was doing the Disneyland thing.
Yeah. The other thing you can try doing is having like free to learn to play, and that usually helps. And having signage and everything really does help, because when we first get started, that's when product was very sparse. So we had free to plays. Yeah.
And so, it seems like it's fairly, I don't want to say simple because that makes it sound boring, but it's sort of easy to learn. And then the more you get into it, the more complexities there are, and there's more combos and things that you start to see. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's also like, I don't like having to so in Magic there is like, you have like lands, and your opponent could interact, could like counter your things. In Lorcana there's no really counter, so you do everything on your turn and they do everything on their turn, and if their stuff like interacts with my stuff on like, it'll say on the card like during your opponent's turn.
Right. It's very clear.
It's actually very, very like very turn order based. There are minor like ruling things, but most of the time it's very clear.
So not much erratas except for Bucky.
Yeah.
Poor Bucky the squirrel. Squirrel, right? He's a squirrel?
Yes, it's a squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I see every once in a while, even though I muted that chat on Facebook, I see every once in a while there's been some controversy, typically around competitive play. What's your experience going to the competitive events? You said it's a lot of fun and people are having a good time. Do people get super competitive playing Lorcana?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's any game.
Because there was a big cheating scandal, I think, right? Yeah.
Any card game, there's always a cheating scandal. Like no card game will get around that, especially when cards are worth a lot. When you monetize certain things,
Mm-hmm.
that's when, well, I guess ugliness comes out. But no matter what, anything happens.
Yeah,
Any card game happens like that.
But generally, your community where you play normally is pretty chill. Everyone's having a good time.
Oh yeah. Majority of the time, there's no issues. There was only one person who was cheated, and they were caught. They were banned.
Yeah. And that's the important thing, right? If there is a problem player at a store, like it's hard sometimes, right? You want to build a community, but you have to deal with that person promptly in order to make sure it doesn't poison the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm.
So sounds like the store took care of that.
Yeah, and like the DLCs, that's their first time dealing with those things, those issues, and so I find it that you can't just take one other game and apply to it because it might not necessarily work the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
So and they have to have they have their IP to protect too.
Yeah,
Disney.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's meant to be family friendly, which I love. So I think that's fantastic that it's family friendly and just like Disney, fun for the whole family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Something for everybody.
I'm like teaching my friends how to play. Like I've been teaching a couple of friends to play Lorcana, and they're now, they love it. So I'm trying to get more people into this game, just like me. I was.
yeah,
The one who said he'll never play.
Okay, that's the reason why I said that is because there were people lining up at 6 p.m. the night before at Gen Con, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yes, it was.
And then I realized how much it sold for, and I'm like, oh, blah.
How much is your time worth? That is my question.
So
Everyone
Peter,
has to make that decision for themselves.
Did you play? So other than Dice Masters, did you play any other card games?
Yeah, I played
Before
Pokemon,
okay.
Magic. I played Digimon, One Piece.
You
I
played them all.
pretty much most of them. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, I quit that ages ago. Duel Masters, I used to play
Never
that.
heard of that. Okay.
There's other ones I just keep forgetting.
And did you get into those because you like the IPs or because your friends were playing, or like what sort of draws you to a game short of what we just talked about with Lorcana?
Well, Magic, I used to play when I was younger, and then I quit that, and then just came back into it. Well, I had an ex before that played Magic, so I would play Magic with him because I used to play Magic, so I know how it works. But I've just found that it's just too much at once. It's just like an overload of information. Just like that's exactly one of the reasons why I stopped playing HeroClix, because it's just too much. Everything is overwhelming.
Yeah, Magic is very overwhelming if you're just getting into it. I don't mind playing Magic every once in a while. Like sometimes Rob and I'll go out to a pre-release or a draft. Mm-hmm. And I like that because it's a single set. Mm-hmm. And every set, of course, has its own little gimmick. But I can usually, I don't go to win. I go to play some cards for whatever, 15, $20 and spend a few hours of time. And that's all I really want to do. So I have little techniques like low cost cards and flying and, things that I'm like, okay, if you don't have a flyer, you can't block this, so it's just, I usually try to win at least one game of one of my matches and I'm happy. So, and sometimes the cards are really pretty.
Yes.
And that makes a difference to me.
Yeah, I love the pre-release stuff. There's a new pre-release that's coming out in June for Magic that I want to go, but it's going to be super expensive. So
which one's that?
That's the Final Fantasy.
Oh, Kim, you were into that one, right?
Final Fantasy?
Yeah, was that one you were interested in?
No, not Final Fantasy. Was it? No, I never got into Magic till like recently.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy hasn't come out yet. It's new.
Oh,
yeah. It's going to be in June.
Only if they have a starter deck. Or
they will. They will have commander decks. Yes, absolutely.
Because they didn't have it for Assassin's Creed, and I was very upset.
But they're going to be expensive, just letting you know.
Oh, because it's Final Fantasy.
Yes.
I played that game long time ago. PS2 was it when they came out? PS2, something like that.
Yeah, commander decks are crazy. There's too many cards.
There is.
Yeah.
It's shuffling 100-card deck. It's hard. Or
Especially
99
when they're
words.
sleeved.
Yes, I know.
So many cards. I have tiny little hands.
Mhm.
I don't like it. I have to shuffle it in like stages, and then people think I'm cheating. I'm like, no, I just can't hold them all.
Just
But
cut it in
yeah.
half and shuffle one, shuffle the other, and then put it together.
And that's the reason why I stopped playing Magic, is it's just too much. And also Pokemon. Pokemon was just too much. Like, it's just overloaded. And there's just too many sets. Too many. I'm a collector also. And for my Lorcana, I like to collect a playset of every single card for each set. So I have all the sets now. I've completed everything, or as much as like up until like legendaries, not enchanted though, because that's just insane.
That's a investment.
I'm trying to get more enchanted, so
Sure.
eventually.
Yeah, they're nice things when you pull something that is
Shiny.
shiny and pretty and unique and special and all those types of things, right? So it's always fun when you pull something like that. So
Yeah, and so Digimon, I played it because I was like, I love Digimon because that's my favorite anime, and so it was a Bandai game. So I heard about Bandai games, and they're all pretty similar to each other in a way because they have the same keywords. So once you know one of them, you kind of know the similar aspects. And then One Piece it's also a Bandai game, but Shaheen, who plays One Piece, he got me into it, so I played with him. And then when Lorcana finally kicked off like more, that's when I like swapped over. Kind of.
Yeah, I was talking to my local store owner, my old local store owner, Will, at Game Time Collectibles, Mississauga. And he was telling me about One Piece being a Bandai game, and that a lot of the Bandai games are like sort of short-lived, but they all have the same mechanics. They're just new IPs. They're like fresh skins, basically. I'm sure there's probably more complexity to that. But as a game store owner who plays games, he's like, yeah, they're like basically the same. If you can play One Piece, you can play Digimon, you can play, like it's basically the same mechanics, give or take. But they tend to be short-lived is what he said. So he was surprised that One Piece is still going. But it seems pretty popular.
Well, Digimon's still going too. So it's only the Dragon Ball Z that's kind of dying down. There's
that's
a new
the one.
Yeah, there's a new one called Union Arena. So they just released that, I want to say like less than 6 months ago or something like that.
Yeah, I heard of that one. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's another Bandai game. So once you know one Bandai, you know the other ones.
Yeah. I am finding that with a lot of these games, like once you know one of them, it really helps you learn the others. Like not everything's the same, like to our point, right? Like Magic is very complex and the mechanics in Lorcana are about gaining lore instead of, beating your opponent. But I really got into playing games with Dice Masters, and that was all I knew, right? Until I played a little bit of HeroClix. And then when I started playing Star Wars and I started playing Magic and I started playing Lorcana, like a little bit, like dabbling, I was like, okay, like the mechanics are similar. Each game has a twist that works for that particular game. But, there's enough similarities between them that sort of once you have a handle on one of them, you can at least dabble in the others without being too overwhelmed. Except Magic, because it's crazy.
Yeah, and there's one thing I want to point out with Lorcana is that you have a 60-card deck. So, you when you build your deck, you want to build like roughly from 14 uninkables to like 20 uninkables. It really depends on how you feel comfortable with it. The more, the worse it will be, because if you say you have 20 uninkables, that's 40 inkables in your deck. Chances of you getting, I usually tend to get all the uninkables in my hands. So
of course, yeah,
because that's just how it works.
How many cards do you draw?
You draw 7.
And then if you mulligan, do you lose one?
No, when you mulligan, you put the whatever you have that you want to put back to the bottom of the deck, then draw up to 7.
Okay, and is it just once you can mulligan?
Yes, once.
Yeah, so you have a limit.
But you can essentially mulligan your whole hand. That's 14 cards. You're basically 14 cards. You're digging potentially.
So do you have to mulligan your whole hand, or is it optional?
No, you can mulligan whatever number you want.
Up to 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's where the mulliganing, basically based on your matchups, is a very important thing, because you want to be able to have a good opening hand against that matchup, and knowing your matchups is a big thing.
Well, yeah, and that churns, like you said, like up to 14 cards out of your deck, right? So out of your 20, out of your 60, that's almost a third of your deck that you've been able to look at.
Yeah, and generally the first person, it used to be like, so best of 3, we used to have like the win rate for going first was like 70% or something like that, or even higher. But it was really high, and it's still now the case too. For best out of 3, whoever wins the dice rolls generally wins.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, because going first is huge.
And what happens if you're playing your best of 2 in your competitive match and you don't finish the second game?
So whoever wins the first game will win, because you have 5 turns. So you have 5 turns. Whoever's active turn is turn 0. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you guys don't, if there's no clear winner, whoever won the first game wins.
And they just get the 3 points.
They get the whole entire 7 points.
Oh,
Because they won the second match, because they won the first game.
It doesn't matter how much lore you have. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of like debate on that, again, on the internet.
Yes.
Which I don't know that there's a right answer, right? Like it's hard to say. Like I think best of 1 is, especially in a card game, is not good.
Hate best of 1.
Because, you know, like sometimes you don't draw good, or sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to. Sometimes you have a bad matchup, but if you play a second game, you can sort of bring that around. But like time is also a thing, right? Like you have a certain amount of time for a reason, because they want to get all these like 9 rounds. Oh my gosh, you must be brain dead by the end of that.
Yes. Generally, yes. I don't really get that bad, because I will play Lorcana the whole entire day if I really wanted to, because I used to do that, and that's how much I love the game. Like I will play all day, and I don't really get tired really from it. Maybe like after until like 9 p.m. then sure, but I will keep going. But yeah, so then in the main competition, so if you get a certain number, so in 2,000 people, I believe it's the top 64 that gets into it. That gets into day 2.
Right.
So you need a number of certain points.
That's a lot of points.
That's not much people.
Yeah, and so you need to know your so that's the reason why people don't like about the whole best of 2 is because ties. There's too many ties, and it's allowing people to draw near the end of the. So if you go 2-0 for like 5 rounds, and you draw the rest, you're basically guaranteed into top 64. And people don't like that, because they don't like having that.
Yeah. I can see that. There's definitely games where I've heard about like other competitive games where there's like roll-offs and ties, and I know in HeroClix they put a rule in for ties in Swiss rounds that it counts as a double loss, because people were just not playing the game. They were just rolling off to see who won, and it's not fun. Like I go to a game, I go to a competition to play games. I don't go there to sit there and stare at my opponent for an hour and then roll 2 dice to see who wins. That's not the game that I came to play. I could have gone to a casino and rolled some dice and maybe won some money, So I can see how there's like always controversy. You can never make anybody happy, but it sounds like they're doing a pretty good job of trying to keep things under control. And
they are, and they've listened to our feedback, and they're improving and improving. So I don't fault them for anything. They're actually listening to us compared to other card games, or
Games
Other
in general.
Oh, games in general. You can
Say it. You can say it.
Yes, because you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
With getting no information and whatnot, this is like a change. This is a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm always like, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because they're listening to us, because they listen to every feedback they have, and they improved the challenges. They improved product allocation and whatnot. And so yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. It's good to have a community that feels, and a game community that feels like it's being supported by the company that's making it. I think it's the right thing to do. I know it's not an easy thing to do, but it's good that they're listening. It's good that they're acting on the feedback, because that will keep a more engaged and supportive community. So, and I feel like it's the right thing to do for Disney, right? Disney as a company, I know Ravensburger is running it, but Disney's the face of it, right? Disney's the IP. And, Disney runs a tight ship. They, they are experts at what they do. They create an experience, and it seems like they're trying to take that experience of attending a Disney World or Disneyland and bring that into the game so that your DLC and your LCQ, I feel like I'm now all acronymed out for the day, they're trying to bring that same experience to those events, which I think is great.
Yeah,
Disney does do a really good job. I've attended training sessions at Disney World. I've stayed on Disney resorts. They really know their stuff. So everything is about that magic, right? So if they can bring that magic into this game, then, I think it will be enduring.
in your wallet.
Yeah.
Well, they want the wallet for sure. Definitely for sure.
They know how to bring the magic, but they know how to bring the magic with the money.
They don't do it for nothing. They're doing it for a reason, but they make it feel good, right? So that's awesome. So what would you say to someone who was trying to get into this game?
I would say, like, if you like Disney characters, if you even have a favorite one, then look towards that. And and it's very simple to learn. It's very easy.
To get started.
Yeah, to get started. And if you like the community, because the community is really a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. The community can make or break a game.
Mm-hmm. And we're always here to help. So we're always here to increase the community.
Well, the more people that play, the more likely the game will continue, right? So That's awesome. Anything else for Petrus, Kim?
No. It's pretty good. Thanks, Petrus.
No problem. Thank you.
I know a lot more about Lorcana now than I did when we started.
Now, do we want to go play Lorcana now?
Well, I think we should. We both have starter decks.
Yeah, I have several to choose from.
So do I. So yeah, we'll have to maybe do that, Kim. We'll have to get together and play some Lorcana.
If you ever see the set 6 starter deck, there's starter decks for each set. So they're actually really, so what I like about the Disney part is that there's no extra stuff that you don't have to buy, and once every set has specific things that they come out with, and that's what you see is what you get. So
didn't they change the name from starter deck to something else?
Oh, yeah, I still call it starter deck, but yes, I think they called it something else, like a single player deck. And
but it's the same thing, right?
It's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Sky Dome.
We still forever call it the Sky Dome.
It will be the Sky Dome forever. But other people call it the Rogers Center because they don't know any better.
No.
I didn't know they actually changed the name. Okay.
It's totally changed
been like
for
that
years.
For a while. Yeah.
Oh, how long? I'm going to look it up for you.
But it's always Sky Dome. That's how I knew it.
Versus...
I would call it Sky Dome too, because that's why
people still do.
Yeah. So this is the great big baseball park that is in Toronto. It was called the Sky Dome when it was built. When was the Sky Dome built? In the 80s?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Sky Dome. No. There's got to be like a Wikipedia entry in here.
Early 90s?
Rogers Center, Sky Dome redirects here. Originally Sky Dome. Opened in 1989.
Oh, close. Yeah.
Okay. When did they name it? It was renamed in 2005.
Yeah, so 20
years it has been the Rogers Center. but it's always the Sky Dome to me.
Yep.
So
I just wish they don't change names, but whatever.
it's all sponsorship. It's all money, 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 money.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how the ACC will change names. Then was a Scotiabank Arena now, right?
Yeah, the Air Canada Centre is now
Yep.
Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if what I was talking about the set 6 starter deck, there's one starter deck. If you can get the name of the starter deck, if you can relate to it, because I think if you've seen the show, then you'll know. But if you can get it, it's actually really funny because I think they did it purposely.
What is the name of that stuff? What?
Have you ever heard of Gadget Hack Wrench?
Not Inspector Gadget. No,
But that actually but that actually is what it is, because there's a picture of Gadget Hack Wrench and there's a picture of Go-Go Tamago on the box, and it's basically saying Go-Go Gadget.
Nice.
You never know. Maybe we'll get Inspector Gadget.
That would
And
be
I
fun.
was like,
So
oh
old
my good. When somebody pointed it out to me, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, totally. I like it when they put little things like that in there. Right? Little
I don't think
nods
they
at
did
other stuff.
intentionally, but I don't know.
Oh, they did it intentionally, I guarantee you. Something like that would not have been an accident.
No.
Somebody did it on purpose and it just got through testing, right? Like somebody didn't catch it or something. I hear about that all the time. Even in Frozen, I was watching this, was it Kristen Bell in
Yes.
Frozen?
Mhm.
Yeah. So she was like watching the movie and singing along to the song and what's the word? Like talking about it. There's a word for it. Dictating? No. Anyway, whatever. Having a dialogue over the song, like explaining it. And she's like, I can't believe we got that joke in there. And there's some joke in one of the songs that's just like a little bit racy. And they're like, oh no, it doesn't mean that. And they got the song in. Kristen Bell, racy, Frozen. Let's see if I can get it there. Kristen Bell reveals sneaky, dirty joke in Disney's Frozen. Here it is. Let's see. How did we get that joke in there? For years, I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? That's the one. And she's like, I don't know how we got that joke in there. So anyway, but
The only
reminiscing,
thing that
I guess.
rhymed.
I'm pretty sure they could have come up with something else, but I think it's funny. I like it when they slip stuff like that in. So to that point, I am sure that Go-Go Gadget is probably there on purpose. For somebody, even if it wasn't for Disney or Ravensburger, it was in there on purpose for somebody that got it snuck in there. So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love that when that sort of stuff happens. So good stuff. Petrus, did you have anything else you wanted to say while you're here?
No. Play Lorcana.
I like that. Play Lorcana. On that note, thanks so much, Petrus, for being here. And we have gone long tonight, Kim.
Yeah. See? Board games take a long time to talk about.
She was going to say forever. No, this was great. We really appreciate you coming on, Petrus, and sharing the love of Lorcana with us. It sounds super fun. I would love to play it a little bit more. I mean, time is always an issue with the other games that I play and, life. But Kim, maybe you and I can get some starter decks going.
Yeah.
I feel like we could play this over webcam.
Yeah, and
It is easy to play over webcam.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easy. If I also I do want to come down more often to Toronto, so and play in the bigger tournaments.
Well, always reach out to us if you're coming this way because we're in the neighborhood. So
Sounds good.
it's always good to see you. And if I get up to Ottawa at some point this year, I don't get to come up for work anymore. But if I get up there for fun, then I will definitely let you know. And maybe I'll bring a starter deck and you can school me. So, yeah, and I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah.
We had a very short dice bag because mostly Kim and Nick had a conversation about Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
From the
Lots
last
of Walking Dead
episode.
talks.
and some zombies and World War Z got in there, and that was basically it. But yeah, so we hope that you enjoyed this deep dive into Lorcana with Petrus, and thanks Petrus for being here. And if you want to talk about any other games, or you have any questions for Kim, myself, Petrus, we can always reach out to Petrus over the interwebs. You can let us know in all the usual places, which includes sending us an email at tripledpodcast@dm-north.com. You can leave a comment on our episode post at dm-north.com. You can find us on all the socials, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, Blue Sky, Threads, something else I don't remember, at DM North TV. And of course you can follow Kim and Matt, who are playing board games almost every Saturday night on DM North TV Twitch, as well as YouTube. And of course, join our Discord channel. Our Discord channel is DM North TV. You can comment in the Double and Dice Discord combo chat, and you can add us on Discord. Kim is at Super K, and I am at Jostitch, Joce Stitch. And until next time, on a Double and Dice.